Hey everyone, and welcome to Drive Steady. The BMW M2 CS was leaked ahead of its reveal, so stick around and I'll try and tell you all about it. So the BMW M2 is favored by many BMW enthusiasts as a true driver's car in the BMW M lineup. BMW has been enhancing the M2 since its release by adding more power and most recently creating the M2 Competition Coupe, which was supposed to iron out all the kinks of the original M2, but now the holy grail of the M2 is upon us, the M2 CS, which stands for Club Sport. The M2 CS gets a list of upgrades over the standard M2 competition, starting with the engine. It remains the same with the S55 codename 3-liter twin-turbocharged inline-six engine, but it gets more power. It's turned up to 444 horsepower and 406 pounds-feet of torque with an impressive 7,600 RPM redline. This represents a 39 horsepower increase over the standard competition model M2 and brings its horsepower to the same level as a competition package M3 or M4. The engine is still mated to a manual or a double clutch transmission. Kudos to BMW for continuing to offer the manual transmission in its higher performance trim of the M2. If you go with the standard manual transmission, you'll get to 60 in 4 seconds flat, which is very fast for a manually shifted car. And if you opt for the double clutch, you get there in a couple ticks faster at 3.8 seconds. If you opt for the double clutch transmission, you'll also get a transmission oil cooler, which you will not get in the stick shift 6-speed manual. The top speed rolls all the way up to 174, and in order to keep the engine temperatures cool, the M2 CS is equipped with 3 radiators, an oil cooler, 2 pumps inside the oil pan, and an oil sump baffle. It's interesting how the number of radiators in performance cars today are continuing to grow. What is it? In the new Shelby GT500, there are 5 radiators to keep the car cool. It's insane how much heat these performance cars are producing nowadays. Next, moving to the suspension and the brakes in the new BMW M2 CS. In the suspension category, it's got the wonderful adaptive shocks from BMW that allows adjustability between Comfort, Sport, and Sport Plus. You get an electronic locking differential so you can get all the power to the ground and get as much traction as possible. This is something that's cool. The subframe of the M2 CS is bolted to the body frame without any bushings. I'm sure this will stiffen up the ride quite a bit, but it's worth it for the performance increase. Staying with the suspension, you've got forged aluminum rear control arms and wheel hubs, and behind those wheel hubs, you've got massive brakes. In the front, they measure 15.75 inches with a 6-piston caliper, and in the rear, you've got 14.96 inches with a 4-piston caliper. You do have an option to upgrade to carbon ceramics if you like. No brake sizes have been announced, but I'm assuming it's the same brake sizes that you would see in an M4 or an M3. Next, let's look at the wheels and tires. The M2 CS comes with different wheels compared to the competition package car. You get 19-inch wheels with a staggered tire setup wrapped in summer performance tires, measuring 245/35/19 in the front and 265/35/19 in the rear. You can also opt for stickier Michelin Cup 2 tires if you like. I'm not really sure what the sizes are for those, but it's an option if you choose to have it. The CS also gets 2 wheel options. The standard wheel is finished in a high gloss black trim, but you can opt for the cool looking matte gold finish. Now let's talk about the aesthetic differences because there's a lot between the CS and the standard competition model. On the outside, you get a bunch of carbon fiber pieces. Among them are the carbon fiber vented hood, which is half the weight of the steel hood and increases downforce and also provides a functional cooling effect. Moving around the car, you'll also find a carbon fiber splitter, carbon fiber rear spoiler, rear diffuser, and the always cool M mirrors. BMW also gives you the option of a carbon fiber roof. One cool mechanical item is the transmission tunnel is now also carbon fiber in the CS model, which apparently saves 6 pounds. Now moving to the interior, you get a bunch of extra Alcantara on your dashboard, your armrest, and your steering wheel. Of course, BMW also has to let you know you're in something a little bit more special. You get extra CS badges on your dashboard and on your front seats. If you like having several color options in your M2, you may be a little underwhelmed with the BMW offering. You get only 4 colors to choose from with regards to your exterior paint. Alpine White, Misano Blue Metallic, which is what you see in the pictures here, Black Sapphire, and my personal favorite, Hockenheim Silver Metallic. On the interior, you get to choose any color as long as it's black, so you only get one interior option for the BMW M2 CS. Speaking of options, the M2 CS doesn't really have many, only 4 in fact. The 7-speed dual clutch transmission, the carbon ceramic brakes, the matte gold wheels, and finally the Michelin Cup 2 tires. I like the direction BMW went with the options. All of them are performance enhancing. The DCT gives you better shift times, which of course equates to better 0 to 60 performance. Everyone knows the benefits of carbon ceramic brakes, and the Cup 2 tires have an unbelievable reputation. So good job BMW for not having a long list of options with non-performance enhancing stuff. No pricing has been announced yet, but it seems like the BMW M2 CS is only going to be a 2020 model year and only limited to 2,200 cars worldwide. It's not yet known what the allocations will be for each respective country. So those are all the details I've got, but overall I think the M2 is a great car from BMW, and the CS package just keeps enhancing it as the final swan song for the 2 Series and the M2. I've never driven an M2, so I don't feel like I have good grounds to pass judgment on its driving dynamics, but this CS looks pretty good. BMW has done a good job of making it look aggressive, but still remains classic and not overdone. I like how the M2 CS is still offered in a manual transmission, because typically when manufacturers do the highest performance trim, they typically ditch the manual transmission and go with the DCT only. So good job again to BMW. So what do you think of the new BMW M2 CS? Is it worth the upgrade over the standard competition model? Thanks for watching. Until next time, drive steady.